If you suddenly had the power to control everything in the universe with a mere thought, what would you do when bestowed with such a gift? Behold, the Infinity Gems, 6 artifacts of immense power that give their possessors control over their respective aspects of the universe. Soul, giving its user the ability to control the souls of both living and dead. Time, allowing both visions of the past and future and manipulation of the time stream. Space, granting teleportation across the universe and control over all movement. Mind, enhancing mental capabilities and access to the thoughts of others. Reality, fulfilling the wishes of its possessor, even in direct conflict with the laws of nature. And power, unlocking the universe's energy for unlimited strength and enhanced control of the other gems. The Infinity Gems, originally introduced in 1971 in issue number 1 of Marvel Premiere, would play their greatest role in writer Jim Starlin's epic 1991 Marvel Comics miniseries, The Infinity Gauntlet. This 6-issue event would see the intergalactic villain Thanos, also a creation of Starlin, in possession of all 6 gems, wielding them within the Infinity Gauntlet and using his limitless power to impose his dark will upon the universe as its new god. For Thanos, who had battled heroes across space and time since his introduction in 1973, the Gauntlet's power would provide him with the opportunity to woo his long unreachable object of desire, Mistress Death, the physical and godly embodiment of death itself. For Thanos, whose all-consuming nihilism would find its ultimate purpose in the worship of death, Mistress Death provided the only romantic interest such a dark being could possibly conceive. With Thanos already in possession of all 6 gems at the miniseries start after his battle to collect them all in the 2-issue prelude Thanos quest, the villain finds himself gifted with the ability to reshape any and all of reality to his nihilistic will. But for Thanos, the gift is really a burden, and the achievement of Godhood would force him to examine his own true nature. Our story opens with Thanos contemplating his new godlike existence and quickly creating shrines to Mistress Death. But Thanos soon realizes that his purpose for taking the gems has gone unfulfilled, for death burdened him with glorious purpose, the death of exactly half the universe, to both honor her and tip the scales against the living. With no regard to the massive toll about to be paid and an eagerness to court his beloved, Thanos snuffs out half of the living universe in a moment's notice, brought about suddenly and coldly with a... Starlin sweeps across the cosmos to show readers the toll of Thanos' omnipotent will, with trillions upon trillions of lives lost in an instant, affecting everyone from the Kree Empire to the Avengers. And despite being forewarned by the Silver Surfer, who had crashed to Earth as a harbinger of Thanos' doom, Earth's mightiest heroes are powerless to stop the tidal wave of death. Yet the instantaneous obliteration of half the universe still does not please Mistress Death. For while she set Thanos on a quest to kill for her, his deceit in gaining the gems and the total power he now has over everything, including death, has soured her against the Titan. Despite monuments and massive destruction, Death refuses to speak a word to Thanos, chafing under his omnipotent will. This is where Starlin gives us our first real taste of the dichotomy between Thanos' omnipotent power and his impotence regarding gaining what he truly desires. Early on, Mephisto, Lord of Hell and counsel to Thanos in his quest to control the Infinity Gems, wonders, "So much power in the possession of one who has barely reached the status of godling. The very thought boggles the mind. Thanos could destroy even me with but a thought, yet his basic soul remains on the edge of mortality. Is he capable of managing the forces now under his command? Or will his fragile heart be his undoing?" As Thanos vainly rages against existence in an attempt to woo death, Adam Warlock assembles an army of heroes to battle the now supreme being whose actions have set Earth and the rest of the universe spiraling toward imminent destruction. But it isn't just Earth's mightiest who prepare for battle. The cosmic order of astral deities, ranging from Galactus to the Stranger to Eternity, the living embodiment of all existence, are drafted into the conflict by Warlock. Nihilism is the philosophical denial that there is meaning to life, rejecting that there is an intrinsic value to existence. Thanos, a self-proclaimed nihilist, finds it easy to wipe out billions without a second thought. Yet it is clear that there are some precious few things that the madman holds dear. Most crucially, his love for Death herself. Torn apart by his scorned love for Mistress Death, the one reason he sought the gems in the first place, and the unlimited power he now has at his fingertips, Thanos denies his torment and instead creates a mate for himself, Taraxia, who he claims to be everything he longs for and far more deserving of his love than Death. Yet it's clear from a single glance that Thanos still pines for her, just as the heroes of Earth launch their attack. What makes Starlin's miniseries more fascinating than the typical event comic is the duality of its story. For a tale so grandiose in its ideas, and with so many A-list heroes taking part in the central battle, the actual scope of the narrative is relatively small. While characters like Captain America, the Hulk, Doctor Doom, Spider-Man, and more wage war against Thanos, they're really of little consequence when it comes to the story as a whole, with most of them being moved off the board by the story's midpoint. Really, the Infinity Gauntlet is Thanos' story, with the burden of his newfound godhood being the focus of the comic along with his struggle against Adam Warlock, the wise opponent of the Mad Titan who allies himself with Doctor Strange and the Silver Surfer in an effort to wrest control of the gauntlet from its all-powerful possessor. Starlin, who played the largest role in establishing much of Marvel's cosmic side during the 1970s, knows his lead characters inside and out, and it shows in his handling of Thanos and Warlock, as well as smaller side characters like Star Fox and the Watcher. These various voices take turns as narrator, commenting on the cosmic confrontation and helping to give a more relatable, human perspective on a battle that is depicted as too massive for the mortal mind to comprehend. That battle is brought to life by artists George Perez and Ron Lim. Perez had been one of the superstar artists of the past decade thanks to his work on such massive books like Teen Titans, Crisis on Infinite Earths, and Wonder Woman. His ability to illustrate massive casts of characters on a wide cinematic scope made him the perfect candidate for Marvel's cosmic event book. So Starlin persuaded the artist to work on Infinity Gauntlet, despite needing to simultaneously draw for DC. His talents for such humongous stories is clear from the outset, thanks to the enormous settings and massive amounts of characters jammed into each panel. But Perez soon became frustrated with Gauntlet and his overstuffed schedule, eventually leaving the book in the middle of issue number 4 and being replaced by Ron Lim, who had already worked with Starlin on the lead-up stories found in Silver Surfer and Thanos Quest. Lim ably took the ball and ran with it, and you'd be hard-pressed to find the exact page he took over at first glance, as he too displayed great talent for the cosmic scope, perhaps with just small differences in his approach to detailing and musculature when compared to Perez. If there is a general problem with the storytelling in Infinity Gauntlet, it is that the book simply drags on for too long in its first few extra-large issues. Perhaps Starlin and Perez were too enamored with the scope and amount of characters available to them, as the early issues feature too much stage setting before the true conflict begins. But once the war erupts, the book doesn't suffer from the same pacing problem, especially as Adam Warlock's intricate plan keeps readers guessing as it is mysteriously put into action step by step. Having long been thought dead, Adam Warlock was truly living within the Soul Gem, itself a peaceful pocket universe. But the hero resurrects himself and his allies when Thanos gains power, knowing that he alone can defeat the villain, having already done so several times before. His quest requires as many heroes as possible, but Warlock knows that they are embarking on a suicide mission. The combined might of so many formidable beings would be enough to destroy the most powerful of villains. But what hope do these heroes have against a man with control over time, space, reality, power, and virtually all aspects of the universe? One by one, the heroes die shocking, often ignoble deaths, like Iron Man being decapitated off-panel, Spider-Man being bloodily beaten to death, and Thor turning into glass and shattered. Even Captain America, who makes his stand against Thanos when all hope is lost, is unceremoniously killed despite proving his courage in a sequence that would stand as one of the character's greatest moments. But these deaths are far from shocking for Warlock, who knew that he was sending the heroes to certain doom in an effort to set Thanos up for his true fall. The universe's hope lies in a plan akin to a game of chess, and Warlock's belief that Thanos himself is, and has always been, his own worst enemy. The gathering of cosmic deities make their presence known to Thanos, pouring out their galaxy-shattering power on their enemy in a barrage that fills each panel with massive kinetic energy. Yet it's betrayal that truly threatens Thanos rather than raw power, with Mephisto making his move to seize the gauntlet when his former ally is distracted. But the betrayal that wounds Thanos the deepest comes from Mistress Death herself, who turns on the Titan and attacks him. While Thanos is able to best her and the rest of the deities, the treachery causes him to lose the last vestiges of mortal connection. Replacing eternity with his own consciousness, Thanos achieves the greatest feat possible with the power of the Infinity Gauntlet, that of becoming the embodiment of the universe itself. Yet this is his true downfall, as while his consciousness may be at the center of reality, his mortal coil remains, possessing the gauntlet and at its most vulnerable. Mere moments after his ascension, the charred and near-dead remains of Nebula take the gauntlet, ripping away Thanos' power and granting herself omnipotence. With Thanos quickly banished and Taraxia killed in space, the byproduct of a telling oversight by Thanos, the brief Master of the Universe is surprisingly saved by Warlock and Strange, who attempt to recruit him in the battle to save existence. But why would Thanos ever ally with Warlock, the man most responsible for his past defeats? Because Warlock knows the Titan better than even Thanos himself. Having lived within the Soul Gem while it was possessed by Thanos, he knows the man's deepest thoughts and desires, stating, "Look back on your life, Thanos of Titan, and what do you see? A man always seeking ultimate power and losing it as soon as he attains it. Why? Because deep in his soul, he knows he is not worthy of it." Just like times past, Thanos has subconsciously created the means of his own defeat. That is why his body was left unguarded, why Taraxia was so vulnerable without Thanos, why every opponent came so close to defeating a man who could wipe out all of existence with a thought. It's an undeniable revelation that persuades Thanos to join the fight against Nebula. And while the power of Godhood was barely controllable for Thanos, it is far worse for a mind as fragile as Nebula's. Her restoration of the universe and all who were lost, fight against the deities, and struggle against both Thanos and the remaining heroes, show her to be teetering on the edge of oblivion. It's a chance for Warlock to seize the gauntlet, but also a precarious situation that could destroy all of existence. Like the disharmony within Nebula's mind, Warlock enters the Soul Gem with Silver Surfer to sow disharmony within the gems of the gauntlet, creating enough feedback to cause her to drop it. It all comes down to a mad scramble for the gems between heroes and villains, a chaotic and fierce brawl the opposite of past issues' cosmic battles. The fight ends with Warlock now in possession of the gauntlet and suddenly vaulted to the position of omnipotent power over the universe. As opposed to Thanos, whose nihilism led to incalculable deaths in the blink of an eye, Warlock now seeks to bring some semblance of order to the cosmos. But what does it mean to live within a universe reshaped by the thoughts and will of a single man? Even a man as seemingly altruistic as that of Adam Warlock. It's a discomforting idea that few of the heroes find palatable, with Thanos' displeasure leading him to setting a bomb to self-destruct on himself and take everyone with him. The despot is quickly dispatched, blowing up light years away due to the timely intervention of Thor. Of course, Thanos is not truly dead, merely giving cover for his retreat into exile. Warlock and his companions, Pip and Nebula, soon find him living the humble life of a farmer on a distant planet. In its final pages, Warlock gives readers a crucial insight regarding what it means to possess the Infinity Gauntlet. An offhand remark from the Gauntlet's new possessor shows that he exists simultaneously at all moments in time, meaning that he can both foresee the future and live within it. It's a redefining moment that is only given brief focus, but the revelation is crucial. If Warlock, who only possessed the power briefly, can see the inevitable future, then so did Thanos, who acknowledges the confusing nature of existing at all moments in time. For Thanos, his downfall caused by his own self-doubts was not only unavoidable, it was known to the man himself. Amidst his now humble, meager life, Thanos has learned that he was not worthy of the power he foolishly pursued, a lesson he knew subconsciously for some time. Left by Warlock to live in peace, the Titan reflects, stating, "Power, such an ephemeral commodity. Hard to gain, easy to lose. And I once thought I understood it. What vanity." Adam Warlock, a being who wished nothing more than to spend the rest of his days within the peaceful environment of the Soul Gem. He now possesses the infinite power and all the responsibility that goes along with it, while I, whose entire life was dedicated to the pursuit of power, now find myself scraping out a living from the soil. Irony worthy of the drama. Yet strangely enough, I envy not Adam Warlock. Somehow I feel that in the long run, Thanos of Titan came out ahead in this particular deal. Freed from the burden of godhood, Thanos is given greater clarity regarding his own foolishness and follies. What could a mortal man, even one as powerful and self-possessed as Thanos, truly hope to do when given power that stretches far beyond the limits of imagination? What Adam Warlock may soon learn, and what Thanos now rests in the comfort of knowing, is that the idea of godhood should forever remain beyond our reach, as it will never truly be within our grasp.